Hello, this is a simple and basic tutorial on the sound equipment and keyboards that you'll be using at St. Luke's Lutheran Church in Valencia, New York. This is the choir loft where the choir sings from and where you'll be playing the keyboard from. This is the bulk of the sound equipment that you're responsible for: the keyboards, the mixer, the amplifiers, a reverb unit. Turning everything on, of course, is important, otherwise you get no sound, and there is an order in turning everything on. You start with a controlling keyboard, then you work your way to the sound keyboard, then the reverb unit, the mixing board, and finally power amps number 1 and number 2. Doesn't matter which order the amps go on, just as long as they're on. Here's the on and off switch for the controlling keyboard. You'll be playing on this keyboard during the service. This is the keyboard that generates the sound. The on and off switch is located in the far left in the back here. You can feel for it. The reverb unit is a Digitech reverb unit. There is the on and off switch. Don't worry about anything else there for now. This is the mixing board. There are 2 switches located in the back. The large one is the main power switch. The smaller one is a phantom power switch. Please put the large one on first, the main powered one on. And these are the 2 power amps, number 1 and number 2. Doesn't matter which order you turn them on. Please do not adjust the volumes on here. This controlling keyboard here is the one you'll be playing on. There are 4 sounds configured for it to play. Fader number 1 is the one to the left, that's up, and fader number 4 is a little bit more to the right. These are the 4 faders that are up already. Fader number 1 goes to a piano sound. Fader number 2 goes to organ sound number 1. Fader number 3 goes to organ sound number 2, and finally the flute sound goes to fader number 4. Lots of other knobs and push buttons here. Please do not adjust anything here. It's all set up and ready to go. However, should you accidentally press on any of these buttons that you see here, it will change the sound, but only to fader number 1. Just simply press that first button right there, and that will get you back to the piano sound. The mini disc player, you might be, I believe there is a service that you might be responsible for our Jesus Rocks Sunday service. It's a bunch of Beatles music that's recorded on mini disc. I'll get back to you on that in an email, and Pastor Jim Slater will guide you through that as well. And this is the main mixer board. These 4 mute buttons and faders are responsible for 4 microphones. They're mute buttons number 1 and number 2 and number 3 and 4. Pay special attention to mute buttons number 3 and 4. Those 2 mute buttons correspond to the choir microphones. They need to be engaged so that the choir mics are on, and then when the choir is finished singing, you press on them to re-engage the mute. And these are the microphones. The lavalier microphone corresponds to mute and fader number 1. Pastor Slater many times wears this. The lectern microphone corresponds to the mute and fader number 2 on the mixer. You can just make sure the sound is on when people are speaking. And then finally, you have the choir microphones. The one on the left is number 3, and then the one on the right is number 4, corresponding to faders number 3 and 4. Make sure that these are on during the anthems. Finally, turning everything off is simply a reverse process of turning everything on. You start with the amplifiers and you work your way back to the controlling keyboard. And finally, thank you very much for your time and for your talent. I hope all goes well for you.